Hi folks, it's Peter here from Rainbow Springs Fly Fishing with another little pro tip for you. And this one's more of a demonstration on how to go from being beginner, intermediate, saltwater, and then to be an absolute freestyler, so that anything you do looks good, works well, presents nicely, and so forth. So we'll start off with just a normal everyday casting stroke. Pretty simple. And then as you advance, you begin to understand this double haul, how nicely it looks and how nicely it all goes out together. Right? Then if you think, well, how will I work when it's windy? So I'm left-handed. If the wind was blowing this way, basically you can cast sideways like this. I'm not a really big fan of that. I use it in salt water to get flies to go around mangroves and things like that. The other alternative is you drop it off your shoulder this way. Right, remember, the wind will be going, pushing the fly into my face. So, using the dominant side, I can do it that way. Or alternatively, I can just turn around and cast and present backwards. So that's one of the things you can do when it's windy. One of the other very commonly used casts that I have is the roll cast. And it's simply this. Out there, it all goes down together for a nice presentation. Right, here it is again. Nice straight line presentation. And it's obviously very beneficial when you've got stuff behind you in the rivers and so forth. Right, but you can extend that if you happen to be in a boat or by the lake. You can roll that line up into the air so it hasn't hit the water. And what that does is it allows you to shoot line. So it gives you line speed and very beneficial in salt water. So all I've done is rolled it up in the air, hasn't hit the water, come back and let it shoot out even further. So that'll get you a great big long cast. Right? One of the things you can do with your roll cast is you can shoot line with it. So there's the cast. And as I come forward, the rod is fully loaded, I will then just let this go. You see the way that's shot out? Now if you want to go even further with that, you can use the same cast. You're going to shoot line, but this time you're going to use a single haul coming forward. And now that gets you about 60, 70 feet, if you're good at it, to be able to shoot a great big long roll cast. It's very important. Now, if the wind was blowing again at me, I can't use the roll cast on this side of my body, because when it goes out, it generally comes back and wants to hit the side of the line, unless you're going to push it a long way that way, or you're going to roll a bit around the side. So if the wind was pushing at me, I simply use my dominant side and I will roll cast that way. Right? So it doesn't matter what the wind's doing. I can roll cast that way and put it out nice and neat. The other thing you can do is, if you've got overhanging trees like this, instead of doing a normal cast, which would probably get you in trouble, you can do a slightly sideways roll and put it right in underneath where those fish are. So just keep that one in mind. One of the other very good casts, particularly in streams and things, is called a reach cast. And that's where, if the river was running down this way, you do an aerial mend. So instead of putting it out there like that and mending on the water, which usually pulls the fly, we will do an aerial mend like this. Here it is, there in the air, bang, down there, bring it over to here, and whilever that is upstream, that fly is going to float naturally through that run. And depending on where you move the reach when the line's going out, you can have it here or you can have it further out depending on where the seam is. So that's a pretty important one. And if the river was running this way, I would be reaching the other way like this. And there it is there. So that gives you that slack so that will drift nicely. Right? But you can add to that even further. You can do a roll cast with a shoot and a haul and finish there with a reach. So now I've actually packaged the roll cast, the shooting, the hauling and the reaching, 4 casts into one to get where I want to be. So that's a very, very beneficial one in rivers and things. Right? Roll it, shoot it, reach it, bang, and you're on the money. And all you need to do is watch that fly that it drifts naturally depending on what's going on. Now, there's one other little one that I use quite often in tight places, and that's called the bow and arrow cast. So if I was over there where all that gnarly country is, clearly you can't get a cast in. All I do is, if I happen to be down on my hands and knees, I will do this. And out she goes nice and neat. Now I'm going to finish this off with a little trick. And particularly relevant to competitions, if you want to do a quick fly change, just keep an eye on this one. So I hope you've liked this little advanced demonstration. Come and see us sometime. Anyway, hope you like our Facebook page, share it with your friends, and if you want more information, go to our website at rainbowsprings.com.au, click on the Contact Us page, and we'll shoot you off an information pack. Bye for now.